You know, yeah, I may be a hypocrite. I don't do the things right that I need to do, okay? Maybe I'm not strong enough as fast as Ramadan, because I shoot like 5 kids with the drugs, right? But you know what? At least I believe in life.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Isn't it sad, brothers and sisters, that there are people that are living lavish lifestyles, buying luxury cars and private jets, and our media is the #1 source of the brainwashing of this country in mass numbers. It's no mistake that TVs were invented. It's no mistake that mobile devices were invented. These were not invented for our convenience or our comfort, which is what they want us to believe. They want us to believe that all of this stuff is supposed to comfort us. It's supposed to be entertainment. Really, what I am holding right now is more influential than an atomic nuclear bomb. The power of persuasion, the power of very, very extreme psychology, extreme measures of brainwashing that happen to everybody on a daily basis, but you wouldn't notice it. What this world is suffering from is a state of mass hypnosis from people like doctors, people who run pharmaceutical companies, people who are politicians, senators, presidents of the United States, people who are dictators in other lands, people who are presidents in other lands. This world is being run by a cataclysmic ideology which runs through the top 1% of people who live on this earth. And there is an active movement against you and me as people who are citizens of this country and any other country. I'm talking about worldwide. Now, some countries like China, they limit what people can watch on television. They limit what people can look for on the internet. They limit the games that they are allowed to play. They limit the companies that they are allowed to use and buy from. And just as much as that is for mass hypnosis, just as much as that is for mass brainwashing, just as much so that is for Chinese people cannot watch American news and know what is really going on. Not that American news tells you the whole truth of what is going on, but that the president of China knows that and thinks of it as propaganda. Just as he limits what people can see and hear and do with their free will, he brainwashes those people just as much as the United States government does by allowing us to look at pretty much what we want to on the internet. Allow us to watch 200 channels on TV. They allow us to watch these news stations which care nothing about the people that they're reporting against. Nothing. The media gets more excited when something traumatic happens than when something good happens. Why? It is all about mass psychology. Everything you see on the news is not true. I'm going to give you an example right now. The U.S. government back in 2009 or 2010, can't remember exactly when, they had secret covert operations in the Middle East, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and what they were doing was they were essentially finding the oil fields in which they wanted to steal from them. So they sent covert people in. Isn't this funny? How this happens 2 years before 9/11. Which gives our government and President Bush the go-ahead to go to these countries. Which is exactly why he went there. To take oil fields. Now, this is the reason why Afghanistan and Iraq, their governments, and any Middle Eastern government is against America, okay? It's not because we have so-called freedom. It's not because of our democratic government. It's not because of our Christian society. It's not because of America or Americans and how ignorant and stupid they really are. It is about the fact that they don't give a fuck what we do in our country, which is the proper way to go about it. I have never seen, and there will never be a country like America that tries to stick their nose in everybody else's business where it does not belong. And, you know, people are gonna hate what I'm saying, and I am a Muslim. Alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah. There is no God but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his chosen prophet and last prophet, sealed prophets. I believe all that. And let me tell you this. Donald Trump was the best president we ever had. The best president that we ever had. Okay? Now, if you disagree with me, okay, then down in the comment section, name me one other president that has sent $1,200 in a check straight to you. What other president? There isn't one. There isn't one. Donald Trump sent me personally, $1,200. And for me, that was a lifesaver. So thank you, Donald Trump. Rahim Allah. That's what you should say after his name. Rahim Allah. May Allah have mercy upon him. Man, I'm not saying Trump is a good guy. He is a crooked politician. But you know what? Everybody in politics is crooked. Joe Biden has to take so many amphetamines before even walking onto a stage because he can't stay the fuck awake, that by the time he gets up there, he starts talking and he'll start a sentence and the ending of the sentence has nothing to do with the beginning of the sentence. You know what he said to somebody? You know what he said to him? This is why I don't believe in the vaccine. Because I ain't getting no vax. I ain't wearing no mask. When he was being interviewed, the interviewer said, well, I got the vaccine. And you know what? These are word for word. I made sure that I copied this statement word for word from the president's mouth. Oh, you got the vaccine? Well, are you feeling okay? Are you sick? Or no, it works. Or what about the grandmother? Or the aunt? Or the kids? Or what if your child wants to know, if there's a man on the moon or not? That was his exact fucking what he said. Like, what a moron! What the fuck are you talking about? He's so stoned, he can't even speak. And it's not only because he's fucking out of his mind on amphetamines. It's because they're all out of their mind on amphetamines. It's not that, okay? It's probably actually not amphetamines. It's probably modafinil. Just so you know, they're probably all taking modafinil. And if you know what modafinil is, excuse me, it's a stimulant, but it is much more performance enhancing with the mind, meaning that it makes you think a lot more clear and a lot, makes you focus a lot better and a lot cleaner than something like amphetamine would do. But anyway, same fucking thing, uppers, okay? Now, not only is he so high in uppers, they're also hiding that Joe Biden not only has a history of dementia in his family, and geriatric problems. And you can tell by looking at him, because I hate to bring him up because, you know, Rahimahullah, Ya Allah, please have mercy upon my grandfather. My grandfather, okay, when he was, he had Alzheimer's. He was getting Alzheimer's. And when he got Alzheimer's, when he started to get Alzheimer's, and he could still remember us and stuff like that, but he would do the same thing that Joe Biden does. Like, he would start a sentence and forget what he was talking about mid-sentence. And then the end of the sentence would make no sense to the first sentence. So we were just like, okay, yeah, Grandpa, you're good. Like, he was out of his mind. And he was about, and you know what, Joe Biden is about the age of my grandfather when he died. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not losing our freedoms. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here saying we're losing our freedoms. I'm here saying we've already lost our freedoms. They've already been gone. Been gone way long ago. Okay? And the government does this. They brainwash people through the media and video games, but not how you think. People can call me an idiot. You don't have to believe anything I say. I don't give a fuck. I'm just telling you what I've discovered in my research on certain subjects. Now, there was a government. Now, I used to be very into conspiracy theories and very into secret government going-ons, okay? So I would, I'm sorry, my mom just texted me, so that's why I lost my, train of thought. What the fuck was he talking about? Jesus Christ, don't you hate that? Fuck. Give me a second, guys. Give me 1 second. Alright, I don't remember now. Okay, so, anyway. Doing some research on when you go to research certain types of absolutely inhumane things that were going on during World War II to, say, the Yehudi people, Jewish people. Nobody deserves to go out like that, even if they did try to kill Jesus. But the human testing that was being done at that time was not only human testing on people's body, but it was also a lot of mental human testing and a lot of brainwashing human testing. And back then they had a program that was called MK Ultra. It was a top secret classified program that was only leaked by somebody on the deep web a long time ago. So this is known knowledge by now. But at the time, it was basically MK Ultra did not exist to 99% of the people who are in charge of anything, okay? MK Ultra was known by about 2 people in the government who designed a program which was mainly to learn how the best way is to control a mass of people. Through this, they found out that by sitting somebody in a chair, putting something on their head, and having little lights go across the screen in certain patterns and certain ways, could actually trigger a thought within the person's head. Now they had lots of stuff hooked up so they could tell, like, the brain flow, the part of the memory that's remembering a thinking or anything like that. And they realized that by causing these little lights these little lights that they flash very, very quickly that they could very much control the thinking of somebody. This is the beginning of how and why televisions and devices like the one that I'm recording on now were invented, okay? Once they realized that they could control people's thinking, they could sway their opinion on something. They could make them want to buy something. It could make them have a complete thought that's a complete ideology twist in the direction that the government wants. And they did this through television. They realized that by all of these lights, what they could do is they could put these little patterns inside I don't know the technical word for it, but basically make a television, okay? They would put these light formations within these pictures or videos, okay? And they would trigger responses in the brain that the person who was watching it could not pick up on. They did a lot of research on this. They would have somebody watch something, and they would say, okay, anywhere in the video, did you see this? No, I never saw it. See, they were given a mind, something that altered their mind, and they were not even able to know that it was being done to them. This is what the government wants. The government wants to brainwash you without ever having to talk to you or interact with you or anything. They basically just give you the tools to brainwash yourself. Cell phones were not created for your convenience or fun or entertainment or to make work easier or to get in touch with my friends faster or even to call 911 in situations where you might not have a phone otherwise. They're not for that reason, people. These devices and every single company that makes these devices, Google, Huawei, Apple, the biggest ones, Google, Huawei, Apple. What kind of companies do you think they are? Put down in the comments what kind of companies they think they are. Pause the video right now because I'm about to tell you the answer. Go down in the comments and say your answer right now. Pause, I'll give you a second. Now, if you put down in the comments that these are telecom companies that both set up the networks for the cell phones and also make sure that the connectivity of the telecom services are working correctly, then you would be absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. You'd be right in some sense that they do that. But the main reason that they do that is for the sale of the phones, because the phones are where they really do their business. Google, Huawei, and Apple are information gathering sources. They're information gathering sources for the elites, for the government, okay? Everything, any Android phone that you use, in America anyway, goes through Google. Google has something called a cloud. Now, anything that you do through their network, which means through any Android phone that you have to use Google for, and anything that you may use Google for as well on an iPhone, okay, gets jotted down inside the cloud. They are storing information upon everything that you put in there. The same thing goes with GPS. No matter whether you have your location on or off, okay, they have a log in their cloud, and they can tell when you are carrying your phone. They can tell exactly where you went, when you got there, what you did that day. Starting to sound a little bit scary. Not only that, but Edward Snowden was the first person to expose the mass surveillance program that was being set up at his time, and that I'm sure is in full swing today. Yeah, this thing, and this is a prime huh? I don't, buddy, I'm sorry. And the prime thing about this is, okay, is they want everybody to have a device in their hand. Because Google, when you use Google Maps, whether you have your location on or off, it keeps record of everywhere that you go. And Google has these records. And they keep these records on people. And they do this for a certain reason. And this has exactly to do with what Edward Snowden was talking about with the mass surveillance program. Is that they are basically spying on everybody all the time. And it doesn't matter whether you use iPhones or Androids or your home computer, okay? The government has already infiltrated those devices, alright? The devices that we hold in our hands are to essentially spy on us, okay? Now, this was made abundantly clear when President Obama, the worst president that we ever had in this country, did nothing for this country, told us he was going to end the war, didn't end the war, and you know what? We shouldn't have ended the war. I'm just going to put this quick little bit in there, okay? Dumbass pedophile Biden, I'm sorry, maybe I can't say that. Pedo Biden took the troops out of Afghanistan. Do you know how long it took the Taliban to gain power of it again? More powerful than they had before. When Joe Biden took the troops out of the Middle East, the Taliban took back control of the Middle East in 7 days. It took them 7 days. 7 days to completely redo everything that we did when we were there. Completely redone. Redid it over back to the way it was. What was the point of the war? They said, oh, they had weapons of mass destruction. They did not. That was a lie. Okay? President Obama, alright, first of all, who only got elected because he was black. And I am not racist, okay? I'm Muslim. I'm not racist. I have anything against anybody, any race or anything like that. But it's a little bit unfair when you have a group of people, say one race, okay, voting for a president, not because of what he says, but because he's a black person and they want a black president. They don't give a fuck who it is, basically. And you know, and so black people would have gone and voted for him no matter what he stood for, which is wrong. It's wrong. You know, I'm gonna go on a topic against this some other time because I don't want to get banned from YouTube again. But I'm telling you that Black Lives Matter is hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy. Obviously, your lives matter. You have the same rights that we have. Actually, you kind of have more of them. Why? Because a black person can kill me and go to jail for 25 years and get out on parole. If I kill a black person, I've just committed a hate crime, which means I get 25 to life. And I will probably end up doing life. How is that equal? How is that equality? Okay. You say you want equality, but you want to have an all-black organization. You say you want equality, but you want to have set up organizations that only help black people. Now, I'm not going to say African Americans, because they're not African Americans. They're black people. Why should I call somebody African when they've never been to fucking Africa? It doesn't make any sense. They were born in the most of these people were born in the United States. They're not African Americans. They're fucking Americans, they're just black, okay? And they ain't even black. They're brown, you know? White people aren't even white, okay? They're tan. So, but, get off that subject just a little bit, because I know, from the previous videos, you know, everybody thinks I'm a racist. I'm not. I'm for real equality. I'm like Black Lives Matter. I'm for real equality, okay? I think that if they have a Mexican Pride Festival, nobody cares about that. They do it every year. Nobody says nothing about that. Nobody says nothing derogatory about that. That's perfectly fine to do. You know, nothing socially unacceptable about that. They can have Black Lives Matter rallies. Alright? Nobody says nothing about that. That's perfectly socially acceptable. That's perfectly this and that. You know, they can have Asian Pride festivals. That's perfectly socially acceptable. That's perfectly fine. You know. This country teaches you that if you're black, you should be proud to be black. And if you're Asian, you should be proud to be Asian. But if you're white, you should be ashamed of yourself to be white. That's what this country believes. That's the inequality that they call equality. If you want equality, then don't set up all organizations for just a certain race of people, because that makes you just like the KKK. And fuck them too. That's the hypocrisy in it. Black Lives Matter teaches hatred against white people. It does. It does. I don't give a shit what you say. It fucking does. I heard a black person say one time, man, someday we're gonna own this world and we're gonna make them white people our slaves. What the fuck? Do you know how stupid that sounds? When you're talking so much about that being wrong to do to us, wrong to do to us, but we can do it to you. That's the typical black culture. Now, I'm saying culture because they do have a certain culture, okay, that I don't like. Because the culture is created by music and black influences that teach nothing but violence, gangs, drugs, and all of the above, okay? So, I mean, Black Lives Matter, about 30 years too late. More than that, about 100 years too late. Y'all should have been Black Lives Mattering back when we actually had the KKK here. Because you know what? Since they think that white racism is such a majority, go look at the amount of members that the actual party has. There is an actual party, by the way. It's called the National Socialist Movement, which that involves everybody who has or was or is KKK, Aryan Nation, any of those people, all falls under one category, the National Socialist Party. If you think that white racism is a problem in 2022, go online, search for the National Socialist Party, and see how many people are actually members. Go look. Record numbers, huh? Go look at any other political party. Go look at any other party go look at Black Lives Matter for Christ's sake, okay? I don't care. Put them in as a political party with the Democrats and the Republicans. Alright, the National Socialist Party has less than 200 people. Less than 200 people in the world. That's your white racism for you. That's your massive majority. Alright? No. Black people still believe that there's racism going on because they're still committing crimes and they're still being arrested by white cops who are still going to take them to the ground if they have to, who are still going to do their job and shoot them if they pull out a gun, because a cop has a right to do that, okay? I've seen 3 out of the 4 of the shootings of black people, and they were all resisting arrest. They were all reaching around. They were all not following orders. Okay? And I'm sorry. I don't care what skin color you are. If I'm a cop and I think you're reaching for a weapon, I am going to fucking shoot you. Not once, either. Because they're not trained to fire just once. If they dispense their weapon, they dispense the clip. That's how they're taught. It's called lethal force. It is legal for police officers. And now we're gonna get on a very touchy subject of George Floyd. Because Black Lives Matter loved to twist around the story of George Floyd George Floyd and the guy who happened to be a police officer had problems before that day. They had problems, something about working in a club. One of them, I don't know, they had issues. Let's just say it that way. And so, by the way, George Floyd in the video was resisting arrest and fighting with officers. What do you expect them to do? Allow them to do that. And this is the craziness. Is black people think that they have the right to do that. They think they have the right to resist police. They think they have the right to just do what they want. And then when they get shot, it's the cop who goes to jail for murder. It's not right. It's not right. Let me tell you something, okay? 85. No, I don't even think, I think it's more than that. Closer to 90%. Nah, it's like 85. It's like 75 to 80%. We'll give them a little leeway. 75 to 80% of black people end up incarcerated in their lifetime for long periods of time. And they love to say, oh, it's because of racist white police officers, right? That's why 70% of black people are in prison for so long. Because of us racist whites, right? No! It's because they commit crimes in record numbers across America. Hello! And then when a police officer does his job and someone's resisting arrest or reaching in their pocket and they shoot them, the police officer's held responsible. But they're not held responsible for anything they're doing. If you want me to think that your lives matter so much, if you want me to believe that Black Lives Matter, then show me something they've done for our country other than gangs and violence and hip-hop. Show me something. And if you don't like that, I don't care. I do not care what you think. It's the truth. Because you're all playing the victim in 2022. You're crying wolf in 2022. Cops don't just go around shooting people because they're black in 2022. They don't go around pulling people over just because of their skin color in 2022. It doesn't work like that anymore. But they're brainwashed in the schools and in the systems. Because our schools and our systems, they teach all of our children this. They teach black children that, oh, this is what white people did to you. And da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It does no good. What it does is it perpetuates a cycle of violence between two races. That's all that it does. When you tell a child, a black child, oh, white people did this to you and white people did that to you, in 2022, when we're teaching those types of histories, okay, they're believing that this stuff is still going on. Because they're children. They learn from, they don't just learn from it, they're brainwashed by it. They are brainwashed by it. Our country right now is the weakest that it's ever been. Our president can't even make a sentence that makes sense because they gotta give him so many pills to get him up on stage. And then when you get him up on stage, he's so fucked up off the pills and he's got fucking dementia so goddamn bad, he can't even understand what he's trying to say. And this is when I realized that the voting system is dead. And if you think about it, the most fascist and most controlling government is the one that makes you believe that you're free. They make us believe that we're free. Oh, that our votes matter. Trump showed 100% that our votes, that our elections are rigged. He pulled out the paper and he said, how many people vote at 3:45 in the fucking morning? Because the day before, Trump was winning by a lot. And then that day before the decision, at 3:45 in the morning, an entire state votes for Biden and he wins. Now who votes at 3:45 in the morning? It's called a rigged election. Trump showed this. He showed the actual sheet where he was winning by a lot. And then somehow people find a way to vote at 3:45 in the morning and he loses. So, and the thing is that Americans are too brainwashed and stupid, okay? And I'm an American too. We're too brainwashed and too fucking stupid that when the truth is put right in front of our eyes like that, when the truth is put in front of our eyes, we look at it with crossed eyes and nobody really pays much attention to it because they have us brainwashed to ignore what is the truth. And that's the truth. We're heading towards World War III, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading towards World War III. Well, you know what I say to that? I say Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. God gives us everything. The Yawmul Qiyamah, the day of judgment will come. On day, everybody's gonna be responsible for the atrocities that they committed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us we will be responsible for our sins. These Christians who walk around thinking that Jesus died on the cross for their sins. This is exactly the doctrine that the shaitan got into the Christian message by way of people like fake Apostle Paul. Because, you know, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to end it, okay? Christians follow Paul and Paul's word more than they do the words of Jesus. Because if you look at what Jesus says and what Paul teaches, they're completely different. Look at it yourself. Get a red letter Bible, go read the red letters, and then read the apostles. Two separate, different doctrines. That proves he's fake. Thank you very much. This is Free to Play Official signing off for another The Shit Talk Show.